the longer you wait, the more you're hurting yourself. You're losing time finding solutions. And frankly, you're missing out on time that you could be enjoying your baby, feeling frustrated and miserable. I'm Jaimie Zaki, IBCLC and Mama 5, and this is the Breastfeeding with Confidence podcast, where pregnant and new mothers learn how to prepare for and overcome breastfeeding challenges without being controlled by stress, fear, and anxiety. Each week, we'll answer your questions, share breastfeeding success stories, and inspire you to shut out the toxic whispers of the world and embrace your God-given intuition to make confident breastfeeding decisions. Let's dive in. Hey, howdy, hey, Mama Bear. Welcome back to the Breastfeeding with Confidence podcast. Today, we are going to talk about 3 common myths that honestly can undermine breastfeeding if you fall for them. These 3 myths are just really common for some reason, and I can tell you just about every single mom I work with has repeated some iteration of each one of these myths to me. And so I'm going to dive into each one, kind of tell you what the myth is, tell you why it's wrong, and let you know what you need to know about it. First myth is that breastfeeding is supposed to hurt. Now, I have told you my breastfeeding story, and my lactation consultant just kind of made me feel like pain is part of the process. Pain is a rite of passage, and you just kind of have to suck it up and get through it. And honestly, this is the sentiment a lot of moms are telling other moms. When I was pregnant with my oldest, I actually had somebody invite me over to her house. It was somebody I was getting to know a little bit. We weren't really friends, but we were acquaintances. And she already had 2 kids. And I was telling her how, I really wanted a natural birth and I wanted to breastfeed. And she told me, Jaimie, you need to make sure that you prepare your nipples for breastfeeding by roughing them up. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? That sounds insane. And she was like, looked me dead in the eye and was like, Jaimie, breastfeeding hurts and you need to be ready for it. And I was like, okay, crazy lady. Now, I absolutely did have a ton of pain, but that's not because breastfeeding is supposed to hurt. It's because there was a problem. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat things, y'all. A little bit of discomfort in the early days as you are learning what to do is within the realm of normal. But first of all, there is a big difference between discomfort and newness and slight uncomfortableness versus excruciating pain that makes you want to jump off a freaking building. Okay. There is a difference between discomfort and the kind of pain that makes you want to throw your baby across the room, and it's an actually sane response. Okay. Like those are 2 very different things, and they're often lumped in the same category. Second of all, breastfeeding really isn't supposed to hurt. Even in those early days when that discomfort is normal, it's a sign that you need to make some kind of adjustment. Breastfeeding hurts because your baby's not latching properly. 9 out of 10 times. There's a few other reasons, and we'll jump into causes of pain in a different episode. But 9 out of 10 times, it's because something's wrong with how your baby's latching. That doesn't mean you are doing something wrong and you are bad and need to feel bad about yourself. It just means you're both learning, and some small adjustments can be a game changer. And a lot of these moms, a lot of moms kind of figure out those adjustments over time and don't even really know what they're changing. They just are changing things. And then they're like, oh, well, it eventually got better. That's because it just got better. And it was like, no, you changed something. Your baby changed something. Specific things changed. Don't get caught up in this whole, oh, it's normal for breastfeeding to hurt. Breastfeeding is supposed to hurt. So I just need to wait it out. Because the longer you wait, the more you're hurting yourself. You're losing time finding solutions. And frankly, you're missing out on time that you could be enjoying your baby, feeling frustrated and miserable and just trying to get through this season instead of enjoying it. The second myth that I hear all the time is like, well, my baby's latch looks fine, so it is fine. Nurses will tell you all the time, well, their latch looks good. If it hurts, I don't know what to tell you. Lactation consultants will say the same thing. You know my story. You know, if you listen to the first episode, that my lactation consultant literally told me that my latch looked fine and it hurt because I'm a sensitive redhead. Like, what in the ever loving monkey business is that? Like, what? I still can't get over that to this day, that somebody had the nerve to say something like that to my face. And the truth is, it's a lie. It's a lie. If the latch looks good and it still hurts, then it's not a good latch. Something is wrong on the inside. We can see the outside of the latch. We can see if the mouth is wide open and includes areola, if it seems like a deep latch, right? We can see if your baby is well aligned and well positioned. And all of that is well and good. But if you're still in pain, that means something going on inside the mouth that we can't see is probably amiss. Something's not working right. So we need to just find out what that is. And that starts by breaking down how to get a deep latch step by step, looking at each step of that latch and figuring out which part's not working. That's what I teach you in the very first module of Latching with Confidence, because I want you to know each part of getting a good latch. I don't want you to just do it absent-mindedly. I want you to know what you're doing so that if there is a problem, you can figure out exactly which part of the latch is causing the problem, and then we can solve the problem instead of just hoping it gets better. So if the latch looks good, but it does not feel good, it is not a good latch. And that is the truth. If anybody tries to tell you otherwise, send them to come talk to me, because we will have a very interesting conversation on why they think it's okay to tell people to suffer unnecessarily. Myth number 3 that has a tendency to sabotage breastfeeding before it has even started is the idea that the nipple-to-nose technique for latching is the best technique for a deep latch. Now, I show you how to use what I call the Latch technique inside my free Secrets to a First Latch Without Pain class and inside my Latching with Confidence class. But this whole idea of the nipple-to-nose technique is really born on the fact that your baby should have their chin extended and their chin should be touching the breast first. And typically, if we're in the right kind of alignment, when your baby is in that position, the nipple would be lined up with the nose. The nipple and nose would be at a similar level. Baby's chin comes out, opens wide, and then they can latch on. They'll be just around where the nipple is to latch on. But when people use the nipple to nose technique as a latching technique in itself, it's skipping that entire first step of making sure that the baby's chin is extended. And when we are skipping that, it means the baby could still have a tucked chin, and you could maneuver your nipple to still be at their nose and think that's going to get a good deep latch, and it's not. So we need to really understand why these techniques are, where these techniques come from, and understand why we're using the technique we're using. That's why I love the latch technique that I teach you in Latching with Confidence so much, because it it really walks you through what I call look at the chin. And you have to look at how your baby's chin is positioned to determine if you're getting a good latch. If your baby's chin is not extended and it is tucked to their chest, you're not going to get a good latch. Nothing else is going to work. It doesn't matter the position. It doesn't matter nipple to nose. It's not going to work if your baby's chin is tucked. So these are the things that for some reason are not being taught to nurses in nursing school, is not being taught to doctors, and even some lactation consultants don't realize is crucial for getting those good latches. And these are exactly the things that I teach you inside of Latching with Confidence. So whether you are pregnant and planning to breastfeed, or you are a new mom struggling to figure out how to get that really good first latch, that really comfortable latch, Latching with Confidence is going to break down step by step how to work with your baby to get a good latch and what to do if that's still not working. All the little troubleshooting techniques, position changes you can do, different breast holds you can do. ways that you can support your baby's mouth, whether or not you should be using a nipple shield and how to do that, how to heal cracked nipples if, hey, we have figured this latching thing out, it's getting better, but my nipples are still damaged and need to heal before the pain fully goes away. That's all laid out for you inside of Latching with Confidence. When you join now, you also get a free month of the Confident Mama Bear Society, which means you get to come join me in the Confident Mama Bear Society. Join me on live calls to ask your questions, to actually implement the techniques you're learning, and ask, like, hey, this technique isn't working. And then I tried this and that's not working, but this, and this is happening. What's going on? And we can figure it out together so that you can feel confident and start making the changes that you need to make so you can actually enjoy breastfeeding. If you want to learn more about Latching with Confidence, you can visit littlebearlactation.com/latchingwithconfidence. I hope to see you inside because I believe that you deserve to enjoy breastfeeding, and I can help you do that. All right, Mama Bear, that is a wrap for today. If this episode helped you feel a little more confident or a little more prepared for breastfeeding, can I ask you a quick favor? Go ahead and leave me a review. It helps other moms find this podcast and join us in this amazing community of fierce and confident mama bears. And hey, if you know a friend who could use some encouragement or real talk about pregnancy, breastfeeding, and all things motherhood, share this episode with her. You've got this, Mama Bear. Trust your instincts, stay fierce, and I'll catch you in the next episode.